we're doing another setup video for both Dolby Vision and your Xbox Series X. So you want to head over to settings, head over TV and display. Now it's going to say 4K 60 Hz. You don't want it at 60 Hz, set it to 120 Hz. Now, if you didn't get these options in the first place, head over to video, fidelity and overscan. I recommend leaving it on auto detect because sometimes the HDMI doesn't work. Now you should know this by now, this TV is a 12-bit panel. So set it to 12 bits and keep it on. Now go to color space, leave it on standard. If it's on PC RGB, this is mainly for people who have monitors. We're not using it as a monitor because it's going to crush the black levels. Leave it on standard. And have a look at video modes. This is also another way to ensure everything is on. Set everything. Don't untick a thing. Keep it all on. The only reason I say this is because you should, even with 24 Hz, 50 Hz, movies, whatever, I still think it's reasonable to have on. I also recommend allowing this to be on because sometimes 4K isn't detected without this. So do all this really ideally first, then come back and you should have the options here and even here. Just make sure, because it can be a bit finicky. The Xbox can be very annoying. You can use HDMI CEC. This is just kind of to display if you have like a receiver or other things, you can kind of turn on and off and send commands. You don't need to worry too much. Calibrate TV, right? This is your standard calibration settings. But if you watched my last video, you don't even need to look at this. Just ignore everything to do with the calibration of the TV because it's not right anyway, because most of it is personal preference. And I would say you've probably got the best settings if you watched my last video. You're going to calibrate HDR for games though, because you're going to be playing your games in HDR majority of the time. So once again, if you remember the settings that we used for the PC, you're using the exact same principles here. So I'm just literally going to go through. I'm not going to explain anything. Just set it up exactly how this looks. Unless obviously something's changed, then I'll change it too. So game contrast, will turn that down. It doesn't need to be that high. Put it down to 90. Game black level, I usually have that at 55, as you guys know. Adjust sharpness, I don't like my sharpness high, so I'll bring that down to 5. And then game color depth, you guys know me by now. I like some color depth in my games. And that's that. You can adjust the sound yourself. Like I say, I have a sound bar, so this doesn't affect me. And that is everything. You don't need to worry too much about maximum luminance and all that shit, because you want to bring your luminance up in the game, not on the TV. So you bring the luminance up until pretty much those squares disappear. You don't want them in range at all. You want to go over. So you want to go, so you can still see the squares. You want to go till you can't see the squares. And when you can't see the squares, press it 3 times more. Next, want to do the same thing again here. Bring that all the way up until you can't see it and then go 3 clicks higher. I always recommend doing that just to make sure. And same with the black levels. If you physically can't see, bring it down very slightly till you can't see the boxes and then maybe 3 clicks. It doesn't really matter too much. And you'll see here, calibrated image, uncalibrated, bloom is too much. This looks much better. Oh, and of course, because you're probably going to be using a different HDMI port, and although you've said apply your settings, it doesn't always work. If you've got your LG remote, just hold the settings button and it'll bring the advanced settings up and skip the game optimizer. Just double check your advanced settings again and just make sure that everything is how you want it to be. So super resolution's on high. I've already said don't do that. If you've got color, you want to make sure that your white balance is 140 or 145, 150 if you really care about proper filmmaker mode. Yeah, everything seems to be okay. No problems at all here. Make sure the brightness is at 100. It might not be because I do watch things. And also, yeah, leave it in BT 1886. Generally speaking, I can't tell much of a difference, but people say if you've got it in SDR, not HDR, so this is not using HDR on the menu, put it in BT 1886. So if you go back to my last video, go to the PC settings, Dolby Vision, there we go. FIFA's got it. I haven't played FIFA in a while, as you can probably tell. So this is where we go back to the advanced settings. So hold that settings button down. And as you'll see here, game optimizer, Dolby Vision. This is very important now because this is where you're going to have to change things around again. So brightness, 100. Gamma's going to be set to 2.2. Put the color adjustment on off. I'm not actually sure what's happened there. I don't know why it was on anything at all. We'll bring it up to 140. Again, it's going to change based on what settings you're on. And because this is Dolby Vision, you need to set this first. So for some reason, we are kind of stuck at 2.2. So maybe you don't have to care about HDIG at all unless you're on PC. I'm guessing you're just forced into it with Dolby Vision. Not actually sure. But yeah, that's basically how it works. I thought you could change it in the Xbox settings, but you can't. So follow the same principles with HDR as Dolby Vision. On PC, Dolby Vision though, you can change it to HDRG from 2.2. I don't know why it's grayed out, but on console it seems to be. So 2.2 is what you're going to have to settle with.